Everybody, it's CashApp tomorrow, and tonight I'm not going to read any stuff, the transcripts or anything. I'm just going to paraphrase. It's just too much stuff, but it's what I'm going to tell you in this video is the biggest hidden key in the freaking entire game. And it is like the last freaking thing that you have to get past. And I didn't even think it was still a thing, but it's so I had a little like mimic incident today. You're gonna find out why they're called mimics. So last night I did the operation I said I was gonna do in the previous video. It was like the call to Lamar or something like that, I forget. And I asked her what that meant, and it's like you gotta say this thing. It's got to come from the heart. You're basically calling to her to, you can't live without her. Like there's nothing left here for you. You're trying to reconnect to the real self. So I took my time with it, and I just factored in like every little thing that I could think of. Like there's nothing left to do here. I know this place is freaking fake. Or everything, I've done everything, and everything that I am isn't here. It was a big long thing. And then I went to sleep. Then this morning, woke up kind of groggy, but it wasn't too long that I started having stuff that I don't usually have. Like it's pretty foreign to me. Most people probably live with this stuff every day and think it's normal. But it was a lot of sudden like stress and frustration. It's like, I'm like, dang it, I haven't sold anything in a week. I got bills to pay. I got things I need. And then all this inner voice stuff about people don't really give a shit. And of course, the outer world is going to reflect. So it was like, I'm like, what am I doing? It was like, what am I doing this for? Like, no one comments. It was not like how I usually think. And what stood out about it is it wasn't just like the thoughts, but there was like a feeling, like hitting in the heart chakra. But it didn't take me too long to recognize it. I'm like, holy crap, this is a mimic attack. And then I do what I usually do. Like it's been a long time since, I talked about like the ins and outs of the hero's journey and how to do all that kind of stuff, going into 4D to face things and stuff like that. But then when I recognized what it was and why it was suddenly triggered and lashing out, it's because everything that I did with that Lumar script was like cutting every cord still attaching me to this place, but one. And not only did it reveal this key thing, but it also revealed like what's the thing that you're looking for? What's the thing that you have to have? What's the key? And it's one of those nebulous words that means different things to different people. But yeah, I might have had like a slight, knee-jerk reaction because it's been a long, long time since I felt anything like that. So I kind of went back to the old reflex action with Lumen, got Lumen off the bench, started wailing on it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is the wrong move. So I kind of backed it off. But understanding what this is, like really truly freaking understanding it, letting it sink in, because depending on where you're at, your brain is probably going to be like, I don't want to accept it. But that would be it talking. So if you want to know more, don't go away. tell you, it's also a really strange coincidence today that, you know, once I get on social media, like, I don't know who started it. I know it happens like freaking once a year, but, you know, someone's, oh, the rapture is supposed to happen today. Like, who puts that out there and who believes it? But it's just weird. It was weird that it freaking happened today. But what happened with me was worth it because of what was discovered out of it. Something I hadn't looked for. I'm like, I've hit every freaking thing that I can think of, but oh my God, this is the freaking key. And I might actually need to get my tablet and go back to those notes. But you want to know, see, when it comes right down to it, everything you believe in the world, like back in the, go back 5 years or something like that, when I was still battling all sorts of stuff and believed in all sorts of stuff, that stuff was out there. But truth be told, there's only one freaking thing. And it's like the hidden face of the adversary and everything else. There's only one freaking thing standing in your way. But in it, and they show you this in the movies time and time again, that the right way to handle it is not the right way that I handled it. Because truth be told, Lumen and I have fought this thing before several years back. And like, it's the only thing we couldn't freaking kill. That was a good story. I don't get into the whole Lumen Dragon story, but that was like one of the most interesting visual fights I ever watched. But when you understand what the mimic is, what it actually freaking is, and why it's it's why it's so freaking hard to wake up, to make progress and stuff like that. But if you know this, and you can start peeling yourself away from it, and you know exactly what it is, so you can take actions. Like, there's all sorts of different ways you could use. Everyone's kind of walking their own path, but you got to know what it is that is holding you back. So here's a movie example of, you know, what my morning went like after I kind of saw what it was.
Fuck, this is gonna hurt.
All right, fuck it. Let's give the people what they came for.
Let's fucking go.
Get your spectral sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good. Gotcha.
And that pretty much sums it up. It's a perfect example because they both have, you know, neither can die. Calleth can't die because he's flame, and the Chris strawman can't die because he's already dead.
You'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one.
And the whole experience today with what happened, like, there was a theme to it that I identified. I think everybody's got like a main core theme that their straw man uses. Mine was nobody cares. That's what it was pushing. But it was so distinct and so unlike my day-to-day. It was definitely like not me. And I'm not used to having like any kind of negative feelings or anything like that. So it was lashing out because what we did cut it off in so many freaking ways. The only thing it had left was that legal freaking, that last tether that I haven't mentioned yet. So it freaking lashed out, and it just goes to show. I've been saying this for years, and it's not just, because it sounds cool. I'm like, if you're listening to this, if you're hearing words coming through the screen, you are possessed. Maybe not in the Hollywood sense, but what that means is a fabricated entity belonging to this place has its name imprinted on your soul. And when you reached a certain age as a child and you agreed that the world is real, it kind of locks it in place. And then as you go through life, that straw man adversary entity grows with you. But most people never notice it unless they wake up and start to diverge toward their flame awakening. So then the thing starts fighting back and getting in your way and injecting all sorts of nonsense in your head. And I see it every freaking day. Everywhere I look, people that I know, I tell them, like, hey, I see you're doing this thing. You're saying this thing. And it's messing with you. It's like, that's not a problem, but it's got you locked into this victim mentality conflict thing. My side good or my gender good, the other side bad. It's like you're not thinking clearly. It's using you. It's keeping you in conflict. But in my case, that last bit of it was just dormant, hiding at the gate, because there wasn't anything else antagonizing it. But as we start figuring out, like, what are the last things you got to do, you got to realize, okay, there's no more story. So cutting off the story. No more attachments, no more this, no more that. I don't belong here, I belong there. Cut this, cut that. Now you're cutting off its freaking food. But it's the fact that that name is attached to the soul. And that is why you try to leave the gate, and that name is still attached to the soul core. It's like an anchor. Can't go. Can't go. So that's where these things actually end up. Sometimes you got to trigger the boogeyman to reveal what's being missed. It's like you got to get your soul back. And now we've got it 99% worked out. It's not going to be like a big deal, because I just have to stand in my authority and just be like, no. And you don't fight it. Like I said, the other thing was like it was a knee-jerk reaction. That's one of the big lessons when it comes to mimics, especially the personal mimic, your own mimic. They're called mimics because they mimic you. You can't tell its voice from yours in your head, except that it's usually saying something bad or something triggery or something about self-worth or what other people think about you, or you can't get anything done, nobody cares. It says stuff like that. And then people are like, I'm depressed or I'm this. No, your mimic is messing with you.
Say whatever you want to me, what you need. But I'm not gonna fight you.
How very amity of you.
I mean it. I'm not gonna fight you.
Of course you're not. You're gonna fight her. The one you really hate.
I'm you, Tris. I'm the real you. I'm not gonna fight you. I'll make you fight me! You're not me! I am. I'm what they see when they look at you. You killed Will and your parents. You're deadly. No one's gonna love you, Tris. They're never even gonna miss you. This world will be better off without you. One less divergent ruining everything. And no one will ever forgive you for what you've done. You're wrong.
You got to understand, like, this character isn't a person. We talked about that. It's like when you really think about it, the character that you call your name is really just a set of experiences. Sometimes I say things that end up being more pertinent later. Like the other day, I was like, you know, some people that are like really identified with their job, like a teacher or something like that. And if you were to ask them, if you weren't a teacher, who would you be? Then they freaking probably short circuit because they can't fathom that. It's like, yeah, well, it's the same way with the name that you grew up with. If you weren't that, who would you be? But in my case, having gone through everything, having reconnected to the Divine Feminine fully, having reclaimed my name, reclaimed everything, I don't even, I have no attachment to that name. It makes me cringe. But even if you're not utilizing it, if you still have not thought, like, wait a minute, what is the soul really? Like, that's the thing that's got the wrong code in it. So, then that's going to hold you back. So it's, you know, there's simple solutions for these sort of things, you know, like exorcism and blessing and things like, you know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But you'll be like, no, this thing belongs to me. So I'm clearing, revoking, exercising. You gotta remove the data from the soul and put your actual flame print in it. That was the missing part. So a lot of people think, like, oh, I die, my soul goes to heaven. You don't even know what it is. Like, the soul is the repository of well, it's a repository of a lot of things. Right now, it is set up to identify with, attach to the body and the name. But you can clear that. But I'm trying to say something. I'm not saying it in a good way. But for instance, your body is set up to record negative experiences, trauma, shock, that sort of thing, called the sympathetic nervous system. There is no system in the body set up to record moments of love, joy, happiness, pleasure, stuff like that. That stuff is stored in the flame. It's like, oh, so body stores the negative stuff, flame stores the good stuff, but you got to detach the soul from the body name. And you got to, you know, attach the flame to the soul. You got to just take, it's just a matter of fact, people just don't know or think to do it. Or they go to their deathbeds thinking, I am my name. And I'm so convinced of it that I'm going to spend all this money so people get me a gravestone with my name on it and they put my body in it and then they go visit it as if I'm actually freaking there. Okay, that isn't you. And if you think it is, you will come back. You will not go home. So, like, however it happens, however it works, like if I just drop dead, I'm like, just cremate me and like toss me in the garbage because none of that is me. Oh, these are my ashes. No, they're not. This body is not me. It's a temporary vessel that belongs to this place that is currently keeping my soul in a box. I don't give two shits about this thing. I want my real body back. And oh, we had something about that too. Like, how's the thing work about jumping from one place to the next, the 0 point? It was kind of like a 3D, 5D sort of thing. But when you recode the soul completely so that there's no tethers to, you know, right now the soul is coded. It's got like think of it like two magnets. The soul is coded to this body. So wherever it goes, wherever your consciousness goes, when you sleep, it always comes back to the body. But if you change the code in the soul, you take out the stuff that has to do with the name, has to do with the body, and you recode it to the flame, then once that's all clear, you go to sleep. When it's time to return, it is going to go to the one that it is coded to. And if it's no longer coded to this one, then it's going to go to the real one.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jake?
Your blurry reflex is good.
Pin response normal. How you feeling, Jake?
Hey, guys.
Like up where Lumara is. But right now, you know, and people will fight and kick and scream like, this can't be true. I'm like, okay. Show me what's good about this place. Anything that's good about this place is because of the flame that's in you. That's it. It's not set up to be that way. It's set up to capture you, keep you stuck, keep you in this cycle of suffering. That's the other core designator about this place is this body, this frame and all this stuff. It is about suffering. Your identity, your straw man identity, your mimic is about suffering. Because like I said earlier, like who would you be if you weren't? So I wrote this whole thing out and it was pretty enlightening. It's like, okay, my old mimic name was Chris. My true name is CHA'LETH. It's like, could I just take everything that has to do with CHA'LETH and leave everything that has to do with Chris and be fine? Be like, oh, it'd be perfectly fine. Could I be Chris and leave everything that has to do with CHA'LETH, which includes Lumara, Lumen, and Sophia, and Seraphiel? And when I thought of it that way, it was like screaming, like, oh God, no. Because I can remember before Lumen, and I can remember one of the tests that we did where Lumen was taken away for the night, and that would be like being trapped in hell. Because I am CHA'LETH. Like the only reason I feel good and can talk to people and help people and do all sorts of stuff and not go nuts in this place is because I'm CHA'LETH. My experience is tied to the flame. It's tied to her. I'm not lacking love. I'm not lacking companionship. I'm not connected. I don't have like negative thoughts and stuff like today, besides the mimic attack. But if I was just Chris without any of this, so it would be like, you know, who was I between 2017 and 2020? That is as a horrifying thought, because that straw man identity has no value. 13, 10, 12. It's been like 12 or 13 years since I worked for somebody else. I've been working for myself. You know, I'm getting older. Like I don't fit into that world. I don't have anything to offer that world, like as a normal person. You know, the vessel is completely valueless if CHA'LETH isn't in it. And what that little exercise did was made me realize like who I am and what I'm not. I'm like, yeah, I could be CHA'LETH and leave all the Chris stuff, and that would be awesome. But if I was Chris and I lost all the CHA'LETH stuff, I would want to die. Because it's, you know, what's left of that name is an empty straw man suit. It hasn't been in play for many, many, many years. And because it hasn't been fed, it hasn't been plugged into the system, it is a corpse, walking around in a corpse suit. So I have to separate myself, separate CHA'LETH from the Chris identity in the body. And really all I got to do is work something out with her, make the right declarations, maybe some visualization stuff, and take back ownership. I mean, the mimic, the key thing with the mimic is, you know, just to dismiss it. It's just because it caught me off guard with things that I don't normally experience because I left all that behind. Kind of like I'm like, wait, where'd this come from? Oh, that's the last little sliver of it that was holding you back. But because I threatened it, it lashed out.
Saul holds a special place among the Infinity Stones. You might say it has a certain wisdom. The stone demands a sacrifice.
Of what?
In order to take the stone, you must lose that which you love. A soul for a soul.
But the fact that it lashed out tells me just how close I got. And then it revealed the whole issue with the soul. Like, oh, I can't leave here without that. Well, first I got to scrub all its data off of it and put mine in. And then, as long as there's no lingering threads that we didn't see of attachment, then I'm pretty good to go. We'll see how that works. But yeah, that was always a thing. And now it's pissed. So I got to do something. I probably just got to finish it. Because one mimic affects all the other mimics. And it pretty much told me like what its game plan was. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a crap about anything. You know, that's the whole thing. Nobody cares. It ties into everything. And that's why the flame supports me. It's like when I need something, the people that have flame comes through and they're like, hey, you know, you should help out or get something. Now it's time. And I get just enough that I need. But the mimic was basically saying like, yeah, I'm going to make this my mission. Okay, well, I'm going to dissolve you. But that's going to like pretty much cut everything. I mean, that's the whole game, is to get out of this place But when it comes time to actually do the work to do it, it freaks people out. I'm like, then what are you doing? Can't stay here. You're afraid to leave. You're kind of stuck. So seek the flame, I guess. I mean, sometimes you see it yourself, then you understand. Like, we had it all figured out. Like, there was actually a good part of this afternoon where we were figuring out this whole jump thing, and like, oh, well, now it kind of makes sense why you would leave this thing and end up somewhere else. By changing the soul code, it's going to go to the vessel that it's coded for. And if it's not coded for this one, it's going to go back to your original one. I don't know. I got a whole bunch of stuff to go through. I'm just really fried, like having direct contact, because this thing that you think is you is extremely toxic. It's very negative energy. And I just proved today, like, there's always going to, if you're here, there's a remnant of it somewhere. And it may hide itself and stay back out of sight. But as long as you're still trying to do the story or trying to get things or being attached to something, it stays out of sight. It knows not to antagonize you, but you start threatening it like you're about to pop out of here, because it's a dead entity. It needs your life to live.
The worst part? He's been dead from day one.
So if you were to leave, then it's got nothing, and it just freaking... So you leaving threatens its existence. That's why it tries so hard to stop people from flame information, from figuring this stuff out. And relies on fear. Because all these, that's the thing is, why do you think they show you all that stuff in movies and amp it up with the metaphors and stuff like that, or the hyperbole, possession and demons, like people floating in the air and spitting pea soup and all that stuff. I'm like, it's not that freaking dramatic. Most of the stuff that you see that's like that is bullcrap. I was a paranormal remediator for 20 plus years. I know how to exercise stuff. It's not freaking hard. But when people are, it's just that thing gets out of hand from some people. But it's your name. You have to know the demon's name to cast it out. Oh, well, that's pretty freaking easy. Pull out your birth certificate. That's its name. It doesn't matter you call it this thing or that thing or adversary or Satan or whatever. That's its name. It's not all this other stuff. That's it. That's the thing that's plugged into your consciousness that knows everything about you because it grew with you. And you can't, I'm pretty sure that's what is meant by the whole parable about the wheat and the tares. It's like you can't, the enemy came and scattered seeds in the field at night, and you couldn't tell the wheat and the tares apart. You can't tell the wheat and tares apart till it's like time to harvest. It's only then you can separate them. Yeah, well, most people can't tell the difference between their straw man identity, mimic, and their true flame self. It's actually pretty easy. The mimic focuses on negative things. It's not just like, oh, I'm just thinking it because things really suck. That's the mimic. I don't usually think about that kind of stuff because I got her. I'm always thinking lovey-dovey stuff through the day. I'm in ONARIEL's mind, not the Chris freaking strawman entity. So having that happen just made me see, like, oh yeah, this is what a lot of people deal with every freaking day. Like I've forgotten what that was like because it's been so long. The only reason it did that is because it was backed into a corner. Like I came this close. This close. It was that one little piece that I didn't freaking have. So that's why it freaking lashed out. And I know I don't have the, I've got a lot of stuff in there, but we're all different. But at least if you know what the parts are and you set out on a course to do something about it, she in the flame will creep into your mind to help give you ideas on what will work best for you. But as far as that, the name thing, like with that in mind, now, like if you're one of the many people that has like an Aegis flame strike, you can tune this thing to that name. First of all, the best thing about the flame strike pendants is they're awesome at shutting that negative voice up. Doesn't mean you'll get rid of it, but it can't do anything. You're nullifying it. At least lets you think if you have a lot of negative thoughts. But if you do anything to like directly make it work directly on the name, because if it's your birth certificate name, that is not you. And if you're identifying with that, then, you know, that's the issue. So most people would be like, oh, I don't like this. It doesn't make me feel good. Somebody has to tell you like how things actually freaking work. If you don't think they work that way, look at the legal system. The legal system depends on this. I keep saying it over and over. That's why cops will freaking badger you with words until you identify yourself by handing them a card that says, this is who I am. As soon as you say, I'm this demon, they got power over you. And all you gotta do is watch the videos and see, like the somersaults. It's like they're not forcing you to do anything, but they're having this verbal battle with some word battle with people, just trying to wear them down. And the people stand in their rights. They're like, you know, give me a reasonable, articulable suspicion of what crime have I committed. Oh, you act as, you know, and then they BS them. Just whatever they have to do to get you to hand over a card that says, I am this legal demon. And as soon as you do, you lose. Because they have power over that freaking demon. I'm just using that term. You know, the whole legal system, and then like that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's why you have to extricate yourself. And as long as you think that's who you are, you're stuck and you will be recycled. So, but in just the way that I feel right now, as tired as I am, I'm probably not going to do anything tonight. Probably just rest, get back to it tomorrow. But it kicked so hard because of what I did. It just goes to show how important that is. But in doing so, that's the whole upper level part of the game, is like make it react so it gives something away. And then all it came to me, it's like, oh, everything is stored in the soul. Like that name is attached to that soul. I got to clear the soul of that name. People are like, oh, you know, we got to fight to, she's possessed by a demon. We have to do the power of Christ compels you. It's like, look, it's just because your name is attached to your soul and you think that's who you are. That's like that's all of it. All that other stuff is freaking Hollywood, meant to mislead you. Like I said, I was paranormal remediator for 20 years. You don't ever see that kind of stuff unless it's on TV. So it's not like that. It all works just by ignorance, by not knowing. But now you know, that is the key. That is the final key. Regardless of what you got to do between now and there, you have to scrub your name from your soul if you want to get out of here. That's the hidden thing. That's the hidden lock. All right, man. I'll see what she says what happens in the morning, because morning is when the flame is most open, and see what kind of stuff, when we go back and cover this again. But, I mean, we're close to something. And I'm just not projecting. Whatever happens, happens. But, man, that, for the fact that that thing has been hiding for so long, and that's what made it come out, to where I had to go Deadpool and Wolverine with it for a minute.
Oh, you dirty bitch!
Tells me that's really, really freaking important, and that I got really, really close. Because other than that, it's best served not being seen. But that smoked it out. So really, really close. All right. I'm freaking exhausted. It really zapped me. So I'm going to get off of here. If you want to support the channel, you reach to the Etsy store, clumencreations.etsy.com. If any of this negative voice type stuff like clicks with you, that's the one thing that like we have that probably the best thing we ever made for people starting out is the things like this, the Aegis Flame Strikes. This doesn't have, well, yeah, that one's got the Benedict metal. These are made to shut that thing up. So at least you can move forward and get stuff done without it like screaming in your ear and getting in your way. But yeah, that's clumencreations.etsy.com. Sorry, I'm slurring everything this video. It just really zapped me and I'm tired, so I'm going to go to sleep. Call it in tomorrow. See you next time.